But battle number 7, the first team leader of this battle, is the Pallet Penguins, led by Beast Penguin, playing for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, currently standing strong at first place at 1-0, being one of the team leaders that had a 6-0 sweep in the first week. The OU Mons of this team being the Cinderace and the Hydreigon. The UU Mons of Gengar and Swampert. Swampert doing most of the work in that last battle, having a 4-0 record, first place. 4-0 record from the first week. We see the RU Mons of the Gardevoir, the Swellow, and the Heracross. The Swellow having the other two knockouts of this team. We see the NU Mons of this team being the Duraludon, the Heliolisk, and the Muck. And the PU Mons being the Lapras, Archeops, Slaking, and the Gourgeist. We do see this first place team trying to extend their lead and continue their first place ranking. But to do that, they will have to get past the Sylphic Sylveon, who is led by Susumi, playing for the American Cancer Society, currently ranked 6th place at 1-0. Again, another Pokemon, another team who's trying to keep their ranking, keep their 1-0 or keep their 2-0 streak for this. Their OU Mons of this team being the Hisuian Typhlosion at 1-0, and the Hisuian Samurott at 3-1. We learned week 1 how amazing that Samurott is with its signature move. The UU Mons of this team being the Tinkaton at 2-1, and the Flamigo. The RU Mons being the namesake Pokemon of the Sylveon, the Aurorus, and the Pangoro. The Pangoro being brought once and falling. The NU Mons of this team being the Escavalier, Golurk, Alolan, Executor. And the PU Mons being the female Indeedee, Ganium, Stunfisk, the other Lord Cheese, and Flareon. We see both of these teams going to be fighting it out to continue their 1-0 record. Let's see the starting lineups of these teams. Have the Pallet Penguins leading with, or not leading, bringing the Swampert, of course the highest performer of this team, the Gardevoir and the Gengar, the Archeops though being brought, and the Heliolisk, two Pokemon that were not brought in the, and the Cinderace, the bunny. We see the Sylphic Sylveon with that Samurott returning. We do see the Flareon, which I'm pretty sure is new from last week. We see the Indeedee, the Tinkaton, Alolan Executor, and Typhlosion, who was also brought in the first week. I think the Executor was as well. I don't remember. I know I just saw the team. Don't judge. Cinderace being a really strong Pokemon here with its Libero ability, being able to change typing. This Archeops actually being a not really surprising pick, but a Pokemon that is pretty underrated in my opinion. It's really good. It's really fast, but the biggest downfall of this Pokemon is the fact that it gets its ability, which drops your attack, special attack, and speed, I think, in half when you get below half HP. The Swampert, of course, being a really strong Pokemon, just chonky, only having the one weakness. But we do see the potential counter of the Alolan Executor, having that direct counter of the grass typing. We see the Typhlosion. I don't remember exactly what its signature move does, but I know it's a really strong ghost type move. We do see the Samurott again, who is able to use that Ceaseless Edge and set up the spikes pretty easily. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into this battle. The Pallet Penguins leading with the Gardevoir this time, with the Sylphic Sylveon leading with the Hisuian Samurott. Samurott going for Ceaseless Edge, almost knocking out the Gardevoir, but the Gardevoir with the Salac Berry boosted speed, and the super effective Moonblast hit back into the Samurott, though takes it to 1 HP. But the Gardevoir outspeeds because of that Salac Berry and takes down the Samurott, only having one layer of spike set up. But the Typhlosion comes in, goes for the Curse, and takes down its HP in half, and of course brings the Curse to this Gardevoir. Gardevoir comes in to knock out the Typhlosion, but the Curse takes down the Gardevoir's HP as well. Both of those Pokemon falling. Tinkaton then swapping in to replace it with the Cinderace coming in. Cinderace, or the Flareon going in to replace the Tinkaton to take the Pyro Ball, Getting boosted by the Flash Fire, the Cinderace then swapping right into the Swampert. The Flareon then going for the Yawn. Flareon then swaps into the Alolan Exeggutor, and the Swampert then swaps back into the Cinderace. The double swap from that turn with the Cork Change, though, bringing the spikes onto the side of the Sylphic Sylveon, with the substitute then going in from this Alolan Exeggutor. The Pyro Ball, of course, landing and taking down the substitute, with the Dragon Pulse hitting the Cinderace, not quite knocking it out, though. And the Protect then comes in from the Alolan Exeggutor. I like how he just dances back and forth, protecting himself from the Pyro Ball. With the Pyro Ball coming in, but it's not not a stab hit, with the Exeggutor surviving, going for the Dragon Pulse and taking down the Cinderace. And the Heart is bringing the Citrus Berry back to this Exeggutor. Swampert then comes back in, but swaps immediately out into the Gengar to take that Leech Seed, with the Exeggutor able to get a little bit of recovery from it. Then swaps right into the Indeedee, setting up the Psychic Surge. And the Sludge Wave going in, doing a little bit of damage, but not quite knocking it out, but Leech Seed getting a little bit of recovery back to this. But the Dark Pulse comes in, taking down the rest of this damage of the Indeedee. The Tinkaton then swaps back in to replace it. It goes for the Fake Out, of course, Psychic Terrain, and of course being a Ghost type, unable to do any damage from that turn, leaving the Gengar able to just set up a free Nasty Plot. Gengar then going for a Dark Pulse, of course being a resisted hit. And the Gigaton Hammer coming through to knock down this Gengar, leaving each team at 3 Pokemon left. You see the Archeops, though, coming back in, going for the Earthquake and taking down this, I almost called it an Indeedee, but it's not, it's a Tinkaton, with the Psychic Terrain then falling. Then the Exeggutor comes out. The Acrobatics coming in from this Archeops, one-shot, or taking on the rest of the Exeggutor, shouldn't say one-shot, with the Flareon just left. Going for the Detect, though, to try to stall out a little bit of damage from this Earthquake that's coming in. But the Earthquake is able to one-shot the Flareon. This Archeops coming in, outspeeding so much and doing so much damage. The underrated Archeops, bringing the Pallet Town Penguins to a 2-0 record. Actually keeping this first place, I guess we'll find out later. But a great battle between these two, for sure.